you'd actually say you're waiting until the BKB is going to arrive. I would just flag the fact that once they group up as a team and press the attack from Nico as applied to the Razor, then you're royally screwed.
Yeah, definitely. And okay, so we've got Na'Vi versus Alliance, El Clasico, Part 2. Na'Vi looked like they could have taken off Game 1, but Alliance just outplaying them a little bit. Let's see if the draft adjustments are enough.
Yeah, double check something. I think Nope, I'm good. We don't have to keep that fade to black. But I had something a little bit awry with my game, but we're good. Alright, so let's check out our lanes, see where we're all going to head. So, no real surprise at all that it's RK and Nikwa down here on the bottom lane. RK would like to get the 100 rune so he can get the bottle up and early, and then he can decide if he's going to go towards the mid to help out Pycat or not. What they're up against on that bottom lane is Havor's taking up the Life Stealer, safe lane for him, Lion by Snako, and then Dendi for the mid solo. Phobos will be the off-lane Bristleback, and that leaves Vansgol, who's going to be the sacrificial one. Lich, Pike at mid, and then Loda and Mad. The combination, the telekinesis into crush combination, is available for them as the Rubik and Slardar respectively.
Yeah, and this is actually really weird. Havos actually isn't even coming to contest this bottom rune, and I actually thought Alliance were going to be able to get both runes. And I think they could have, right? They had 3 heroes at bottom.
They actually could have, because Na'Vi just left the top rune all alone.
Yeah, and maybe they just wanted to absolutely secure that Ake is able to get the quick bottle. But still, I feel like if Alliance were played a little bit riskier, they could have gotten both bounty runes right there with no repercussions, because Na'Vi only had 3 heroes ready to contest the rune.
At the same time, you can't blame Alliance for not trying to contest for both, because they could end up with the first blood going the way of Na'Vi, and you're just in a lot of trouble. Dendi, well, this isn't really the greatest way he saw this mid lane starting. A static link up against a Shadow Strike. He can do some damage to Pycat, but none of it going to be physical. While on bottom lane, Nikora as well as RK, they're going to get up in the face of Avorst, and RK is going to harass out the Lion. Actually, I'm not quite sure how Na'Vi is meant to approach this lane without dying, really. And look at Nikwa's first thing too. He went for Moment of Courage, so there's no overwhelming odds. There's no press the attack for them to combo with right now.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how I feel about that. He's getting quite low.
Yeah, he's got to tether away and bottle up. You'll get half a bottle charge up before he's too far out.
I guess if you're Nikwa, you just assume that if the Lifestealer decides to trade with you and he rages, you'll still get hits off on him, but... And especially if Seneko tries to harass you, this is a pretty good utility spell against that. But if I'm you, I mean, Ake got really low right there. I feel like having Moment of Courage would have helped out, or not Moment of Courage, press the attack over there would have been a lot more efficient.
Agreed. I don't think Nico probably was thinking that in the first level, Ake was going to get to a point where it only had maybe 15% of his HP.
Yeah, but in this position, if he had actually leveled that, Ake would have only had to have used 1 bottle charge to be able to get full mana and HP for both of them.
This is top lane's working nice for Na'Vi. Lich just sacrificing away. And Loda, well, he still managed to find 5-2 in the lane. It's not as bad, mainly because Mad's not getting stopped on this pull point. They did have the Observer Wards down, which was deep water, but they put both the wards in towards the lane itself. So they had no way to really stop this pull. They just bring up Phobos so he can contest the pull.
Yeah, and Dendi doing something quite interesting here. He's actually opted to go for 2 levels in the Shadow Strike, contest this Razor, and this is something we typically don't see. A lot of Queen of Pains actually opt to just completely skip the Shadow Strike, thinking that the slow trade-off isn't good for them, but Dendi is actually able to get a lot of press off on him.
With this Illusion Rune from Seneko, we can let that tank up the tower for a little bit longer. Allowing for the stun, Seneko. Wow, actually
he's gonna get healed up!
Arcade brings him down! Arcade's gonna keep him up! Oh my! Oh!
What a TP. And at the last second, Dendi could have gotten out of there, but he felt hard committed at that point. That definitely wasn't the play.
The crazy thing was too that Lion couldn't get the last attack in to bring down Pycat because RK's TP time in. He then went for the tether, and you had on top of that like your unstable current. So what are you going to be doing? Oh, that was horrible for Na'Vi.
And it was actually going so well. And if they could have gotten that clean first blood off, the Wisp rotates as well. You're probably okay with that. But giving this mid lane Pycat especially a double kill first blood with just the help of the Wisp. Oh man,
what did he
just
buy?
Getting complicated now for them.
He bought his full bottle of boots. That's where he put the cash into.
Yeah, and Dendy's not too close to his bottle, and on top of that, Pykat's going to bottle Crow, so he's going to get one full bottle advantage off on Dendy. And it's the levels as well. It's actually okay for Dendy right now because he was able to TP in so quickly, and the experience lead was cut in half, but Pycat just getting in his face, Dendy blinking out. Still not too close to his bottle though, and Pycat already has boots over and advantage in him.
Yeah. And he's just in a crippled position, and a crippled position as a Queen of Pain, you're meant to be that momentum-based hero. You're meant to be the one that gets the quick orchid up, the quick jump around, killing off people, get to your level 7, level 8. Nikwa and Snako. Well, let's see how long this is going to last. The tether's coming down from Nikwa. He's trying to get in front of Arcade. Actually stuck up on the trees, up on the hill. He'll be able to tether down in a moment, but for now he's just going to aggro the big man. And Nick was trying to stay close enough that Arcade can tether. Wait, he's... Okay, yeah, we go. He is in range.
Yeah, that's actually such a ridiculous range. He actually just caught him from the other side of the hill. Dendily finally... I said Dendly.
Dendily? Dendily through this game.
Dendily manages to pick up his bottle. He's got his level 5 as well. Still doing okay against Pycat. You did see the net worth swing go heavily in favor of Pycat now. He's actually topping the net worth chart. But if that hadn't happened, Na'Vi, I feel, would have the top 3 heroes in net worth. Yeah. And Razor actually wasn't doing too well before that.
Tower is under attack.
Well, it's only because of the commitment that came out from Na'Vi. This top lane is still fantastic. Loda is slowly progressing through his items, but he's stuck at 1500 net worth. He's got the same amount of net worth as Nikwa has on the off lane.
It's just the power of the Lich. If the Lich goes well and you don't die in this lane, either hero dies, then he just continues to get levels. He sits back. Once you get the level 2 sacrifice, he's just a misery to play against.
I would be concerned now if I was Divorce on this bottom lane, primarily because I just saw what happened to him with that overwhelming odds, and Nikwa just charging himself in.
Yeah, and there's actually no way that Na'Vi can really fight that. As long as the Wisp is in position, it's so difficult for them to contest that. And right over here,
they brought in help.
And I don't actually know if they... Yeah, they definitely don't see this. There's no vision down here. They opted to go for the one for the mid. This could open up bottom lane.
Notice how far back Maz's sitting though. He's not quite sure if there's an observer around here. The fact that Divorce hasn't really reacted to it means that they kind of feel there is an opening, and they go on Lion, pull him back, the tether to slow him down, and Lion, well, this will be his second death. Rubik gets the amount of damage out, and Divorce trying to man-mode up against Nikwa.
That is not the play, and I think actually if Alliance even just pushed this tower, maybe they could get aggressive on it. That's only a level 5 life stealer.
Rubik's already backing up.
I mean, they probably could have dove that. The Queen of Pain doesn't have a TP, the Bristle doesn't either, nor does the Lich. That would have just been, what, a 300 HP Havost with level 2 Rage?
Yep.
And only boots? I think you could actually catch up to him and kill him there.
They might have been worried about the TP support that can come in, but, well...
Not a single hero has a TP!
Well, VanSkull's got one now.
He just picked that up, like... I actually just...
a second ago.
Yeah, I actually just like flipped through their inventories and none of them had them.
It could have been flagged by Na'Vi. It's like Denny was like, yo, can you at least carry a TP in case something goes wrong? Like it's going to again on bottom lane. Divorce does have rage. He's the only one in range, man. But look at, they just focus on the line. That's the one they want to bring down. But man's too close. He's getting open wounds. In comes VanSkull this time around with the Frost Blast. But Arcade's keeping the tether up. He lets his stick shots go before the tether's going to break. So they lose the Rubik, but they do at least strike VanSkull off the top. So Loda's got a little bit more room to breathe here against Phobos. I say a little bit because it really is only just a little bit.
Yeah, and right now, Alliance doing an okay job trying to get rotations around the map, but maybe just a little bit too greedy dipping their hand in the cookie jar again. Like, Na'Vi have to be ready for that. Like you said, somebody probably told VanSkull, they're like, okay, if they dive again like that, we need some sort of rotation. Good play, and Havos is actually keeping up really well in farm and probably opting to actually go for the Midas, and he's got stacks aplenty as well. If he hops in here and he uses the tornado option, can't he do that? Aren't you allowed to control the creep if you hop in?
Yeah, you can.
I don't know why he didn't just use the tornado.
You can control the abilities.
Middle tower is under attack.
I feel like that would have been the better option for him, but it doesn't matter. He's about to pick up the Midas, and he is contested in this too. So if you're Alliance, yeah, you got the 2 kills in mid, but if you compare the net worth of Dendy and Pycat, it's actually not that different anymore.
Dendy just blinked into Nikwa. Nikwa thought it was the greatest day in the world. VanSkull and Snako already pretty low. Arcade, he's going to TP out. He accepts the fact they're going to die.
Oh, and he gets smashed!
Smashed by Roshan! The Sonic Wave did a large amount of damage, but the fact that Denny also got inside the pit to get the last hit off.
Oh,
Means they pick up a double kill over on Dendy.
I don't know if Dendy meant to do that, but his ultimate triggered the Roshan to come over and hit him. Like, that was a drive-along assist, and normally for 90% of players, I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt. But it is Dendy, so I will just say that was on purpose, and that was like the sickest play. And I mean, there was a fair amount of unluckiness on Ake's part there too, getting bashed in the first hit. Like, he was actually gone with his TP.
I'm surprised he didn't, like, he could have potentially stuck around and tried to stick it out with Legion Commander. Potentially.
Yeah, but it's like, if the, what is it called? Oh man, I'm really out of it right now. If the Sonic Wave doesn't catch that Roshan out, he actually is able to survive. 100%.
They're gonna have a crack at Phobos. Tether back in to the crush, and with the tether and amplification, there's no way Phobos is running away from that one. And he's worth a hell of a lot. That's a big kill, because it also brings RK now half a level away from having his level 6, which means you bring Relocate into the fights.
The problem though for Alliance right now is this line is about to hit level 6. Na'Vi have kind of salvaged their laning phase, although those 2 early kills came off. If you actually compare the net worths, Denny actually, after that double kill, starts to pull ahead, and this Razor, this is a lane dominating hero in the same vein as Queen of Pain, but it's even worse for Razor, because what did he really flash farm with? The Plasma Field, it's okay, but there's no real mobility on your hero like the Queen of Pain has, so getting around the map and farming is definitely in favor of the Queen of Pain here for Dendy.
Yeah, and it's more coming down to the fact that Lions have to group up as a squad and then inflict damage into Na'Vi. And they can just do it as 3 and 2, go for the split, and then relocate in the +1 or the +2.
I feel like Na'Vi should be prepared for that though. I mean,
they do have Chain Frost, and she said Finger of Death coming up, so the team fight shouldn't be too bad for him. And you've got a Rage on a Vorst, which means BKB already for your core.
Yeah, and Vorst is actually so farmed, but probably the best.
Be careful about this, because Nikwa is walking around with Duel. So if they just bring in a little bit of help, a Vorst could find himself dead with before he even realizes.
He actually gets nuked here, but no, Vorst is actually going to take the initiative. Dendy comes down as well.
Really good.
Wisp is caught out of position now too. The finger goes off.
Where's that Scream? Dendy's got Blink in 7 seconds time, but he can't run up to Arcade all the way. He'll get in range for the Scream. Tether in 1 second time as Arcade goes into the balls, but Queen of Pain's going to go and get the kill. Blink up and TP out to safety. They forced the TP out from Loda, and he's not going to find anything. They've lost their off-laners and got out scot-free.
Yeah, just a good rotation by Dendy coming down there, able to pick off both kills. Wisp was just half a second too late for that. If he was able to heal him up just a little bit more, maybe they're able to turn that around, but good move by Dendy. Not a good rebuttal by Alliance, and now suddenly, after that 2-0 start where that Dream Wisp started mid, suddenly you've got Na'Vi leading the net worth.
Pycat, Blink up, they go for the Sting Slam down. The support's coming in though, and that's RK as well as Matt has already arrived.
The problem for Alliance though, if you spotted it out, Toby, is they have no way of initiating. Like, they TP in and they just run at them, and without that Blink Dagger on Slardar, they don't have a lot of options. And if you notice,
is Loda even going to go for the Blink Dagger?
He definitely has to. If he doesn't, how are they going to kill anybody?
Well, if he goes for the Blink Dagger, however, then RK's Relocate isn't going to be as successful, because he's going to come in and then blink over, and they'll probably take him out of range of the tether.
Yeah, I don't think
so. You lose your buff up. I think he actually gets to stick with Nikwa then as the Relocate target and let Loda be the first jump in.
Yeah, that's probably what's actually going to end up happening. Pycat opting to go for the mech. Got his headdress, but not a lot of farm on top of that. I think what Alliance are going to try to do is get this Razor a mech, but even then, your timing for mech is kind of faded where it's going to be ultra useful. Like, you're going to probably get that around, what, 18 minutes unless some sort of fight breaks out or you get consecutive towers. And by that time, I feel like Na'Vi, they're just going to build up a lead in terms of mobility. This Bristle's farming really well. Your Queen of Pain is being played beautifully by Dendy. Whatever disadvantage he had, he's really caught up.
RK's going to try and come in and help out Loda. The Vorst will go into the rage as Loda. Well, he's got Sprinting Crush and Valor. The Vorst has used most of his rage to move up, so he's going to get Crush bashed up, and Pycat comes in with the Lightning Storm on. So they pick up one. And that 6th player of Na'Vi is running away.
Dendy looks like he's in position. Doesn't look like he wants to start anything by himself just yet.
He might be able to nuke. Well, he can nuke RK, but that's it. And even then I would question mark it. Loda. And he gets attacked by Dendi in the trees.
Radiant's top tower is
And he's
under
going to Shadow
attack.
Strike it, but there's no follow-up here. Or at least there shouldn't be a follow-up there. Snake and VINCERE are too far away. Meanwhile, Nick was free farming up top lane and also pushing into the tier 1 tower to do some damage.
Yeah, they realize they need blink daggers. Alliance needs some way to initiate a fight right now. I guess it's kind of reliable having the Slardar just sprint in, but it's not your best option. And I was just about to mention that the Lifestealer was getting so farmed and then at bottom that happened. And even with the hand of Midas, now he's actually fallen behind the Razor and farm who has just been staticking this mid lane as Dendi tries to get stuff happening around the map.
I'm wondering too when Lifesteal's going to join Dendi with his Infest combos. We saw it yesterday from VG Gaming during their D2CL game.
Was it the
Nature's Prophet? The Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, exactly. That was so cool. Remember that first gank at top onto Burning? You
was
definitely didn't see that coming.
The whole unexpected. I'm not used to Lifesteal being played, and it's rightly so because Lifesteal got removed from the CM. He got removed from the captain's mode for a very, very long time.
Pycat just farming out this jungle, and I think actually with all of these stacks that have been afforded to him, this should mean his mech and what looked like was going to be a really poor mech timing. Just being able to static out the jungle, farm out mid, hasn't gone into any engagements, hasn't died most importantly. He's only 100 gold now away from his mech.
I was wondering what Matt was going to try and steal. He's been trying to steal something off this Lich for the last couple of seconds.
Sacrifice would actually be okay. You just don't want to take Frost Armor. Like that's the only spell that you probably aren't okay with. Because it sort of helps, but not at this phase of the game.
Maybe get it when you're later into the game. You can give it to both the Legion and the Slardar as they jump in.
Oh yeah, definitely. At that point, it really starts to pay off.
No. But when you're by yourself like this, just trying to hold them in lane,
yeah, it doesn't really do anything great. He's got Sacrifice now, though. Yeah. That's his mini experience, Midas. You're probably okay with that?
Is that how we're going to look at it?
Yeah, that's probably the best possible solution for him. He's like, okay, I don't have a Midas, I need to get levels. I will do the same thing as this Lich right now and just sacrifice everything.
Pykat's finished up his full mech. We also have the Urn. They'll be coming over towards the Wisp in just a couple moments' time. RK is the one up on the top lane for it.
Is
and
RK
Legion
6
Commander, RK is 6, and Legion Commander has enough for Blink Dagger. All this is now arrived at the 16-minute mark.
Yeah, and Loda actually has his Blink Dagger as well. There's some sort of timing built up for Alliance. Yep, it's now.
Yep. But is Na'Vi ready for it? Again, we see this, they're ready to fight. The first Infest bomb. It's coming in here for the Queen of Pain, but she got Ghost Scepter to start with again for Dendi.
I guess this is a counter. If you think about it, Razor also doesn't do the best in terms of magical damage, and if you look at Navi's line or Alliance's lineup, what do you really have? You've got the Wisp Spirits, you've got the Rubik Nuke, you've got some side nukes, but
Are you capable of triggering Ghost Scepter after duel begins?
No. All items are completely
So all items, all abilities.
Yeah.
But the passives remain now.
Yeah, so I guess if you can get it off before duel, but I mean, Alliance have enough magic damage. I guess it's just in counter of the Slardar, because the amplified damage is the scariest thing in the game for you as a Queen of Pain.
You just need that little bit of extra room to breathe. Okay, Pycat just plasma fielded as a invisible hero.
They know something's up.
Oh, they should do, yeah.
And Na'Vi should know that the rotation is coming into the jungle, but DK Phobos, he's not the target that you want to initiate on. He's got 1600 HP.
In fact,
he's got a Vanguard.
It's the whole lineup of Na'Vi that's coming over here. And if Alliance didn't drop the Observer Ward, they wouldn't know about this. So just back it up. The TP's coming onto the tower directly, so then he can put the stuff up to try and catch up the Pycat, but he's got a haste sprint. So Mad, mech charge, Pycat, mech charge, there it is. Mad will survive until the Sonic Wave connects on him, and the relocate has arrived. They caught a boss, but then he's the one to get the first frag.
Loda's going down so quickly!
Back Loda. Where's that tether hold? It's not going to be there. The duel's going to start on Phobos, and Phobos is facing Nick. Was there enough damage to win the duel? There isn't, but there's going to be enough to kill off Phobos. So 2 players lost here for Na'Vi. Slardar did go down for Alliance, and they did also buy back on the Rubik. He did get the ability of searching for it. He wanted Blink. He only got Shadow Strike. So we end up having a 2-for-2 trade-off. Funnily enough, even with the buyback, Alliance still come out on top. The gold is only difference by 80, but it's the experience which goes up by about 600. And they're going to take the tower, so the gold goes their way.
Yeah, that was definitely worth it for them. Loda wasn't really in the best position there. Didn't really have a lot of options as soon as our Chain Frost went off though. And somebody had to take the damage, and it was going to be him. And Nikwa doesn't get any dual damage. It's 18 minutes in, still hasn't had any dual damage. But I think more so than that, the purpose of the heroes is to try to lock down somebody for as long as you can, and any dual damage you get on top of that is just
Dire's
bonus
middle
gold.
tower is under attack.
It looks like Alliance is now going for the next tower. That tier 1 tower amidst the last tier 1 tower standing for Na'Vi, while Alliance still hold all of their towers. And they're all sitting fairly healthy. In fact, all of them are over 50% of their HP.
Yeah, and it seems like this seems to be the new Alliance style. They go around the map, take out the tier 1 towers, try to get some sort of advantage built up.
It's almost surprising they don't play Shadow Shaman more just because of that.
Yeah, because that hero would actually fit into the type of playstyle that they want to go to. But I think the only difference is that most of the time you want to see the Shadow Shaman in a 4 position, and that isn't a Buckingham hero.
Yeah.
He wants the greediest possible hero.
Well, right now, I don't know, Shadow Shaman's greedy. You gotta look at the way, there's Mineski who played it, and they ran it with a chain. We'll come back to this moment. As Nicola, he needs to press the attack himself right now, or else he is dead. Arcade trying to come in to help him out. It didn't work out in the end. And Phobos, well, he's called out Tycat. Really good stuff from the Lion, buying in the space until Loda counters down with the stun. The Lich Holly will come in, but Loda takes it away, so Tycat really good damage. 140 points of it stolen, so he just rips apart Vanscore, as Arcade will give him the buff up required. They can finish the tier 1 tower, they're going to relocate down behind the tower, searching for Phobos as Loda. Perfect rush position. Mike gets him in with a double kill, but Arcade having to try and keep him alive. He's got this one little creep on his tail. Oh, okay, hello, Daddy.
Radiant's middle tower
In for
is
Pycat.
under
Hard
attack.
commits for this, and they actually spawned right next to him! Is he going to be able to get the kill? Pycat's so low, and he's actually dropping quite low as well. He's got 1 blink and 1 scream up.
Radiant's middle
I
tower
think
has
Alliance
fallen.
actually hard commit for this again.
Dire's
Loda's
top
blink is
tower
actually going to be up
is
before
under attack.
Dendy's is.
Got Crush. He waited it out. He wanted to wait and see where Denny was going to blink to so he can just run him down
Oh, and Dendy.
then crush it. That's really smart from Loda. He realized if he screwed that blink up, it wouldn't have helped because it would have been the max range blink he was wanting. Oh, are they going to go in? There's a duel. Vanscore wasn't ready for this one with the amplification of the crush. He's going to win the duel.
Finally gets that damage as well.
That wasn't the plan, Stan.
He's actually quite low, but I don't know if Loda hard commits for this.
No, he doesn't want to. There's no reason to. Without the amplification on him, they don't keep the vision. They don't know what they're really fighting up against.
And if Pycat had actually died there, I would have said that the fight went okay for Na'Vi, but he barely escapes. He had like, what, 30 HP and he walks away? It looks so weird too, because Dendy, he was like, okay, I'm about to kill both of these heroes, and then the relocate happens, and it brings him closer, but then it looked like he got confused for a second.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't have thought that was going to be the relocated position. You'd think he'd have relocated out to somewhere, but that was where they came in from.
Yeah, Pycat able to sneak away. Loda with that clutch stun as well. Dendy was forced to pop that Ghost Scepter. Doesn't opt to go for the kill on Pycat, and now it's going to be a Roach Man for Loda.
This is great insurance for him too, because he only just bought the Hand of Midas. So he needs a little bit of extra security until he can get his next big item.
Yeah, because you're not going to be very tanky with only the Blink Dagger and the Hand of
Well, we
Midas.
saw him in the fight. He was trying to battle with only treads and a blink dagger. You got nothing.
The weird thing is, he just seems to make it work for him right now. Like, he doesn't really have a lot of tankability, but just being able to outplay Na'Vi in the fights right now. And even though the scoreline is 9-11, with that Roshan, it does firmly swing the favor into Alliance's hand.
Yep.
And on top of that, you haven't lost a single tier 1 tower for your Alliance, and you should spot this top rotation push out.
I'm also going to flag the fact that Pycat hasn't died yet. We're 21 minutes in, and again, this distraction play is working. Loda jumps in, he gets all of the attention. He's only died once in these engagements, but you got yourself a 503 Razor, whose Aghanim Scepter is now 250 or 275 gold away.
That is actually absurdly fast right now.
Yep, including the mech too. He's the highest net worth on the field. The closest to him is a Vorst, who's going to be building into an SMY. Now, she went for his armlet to start with before going into the SMY too.
I would have actually liked to see the SNY first, and this would have been one of the few
Dire's
games, because
top
you
tower
need a way
is
to
under
escape that
attack.
Razor. Because the Infest doesn't do it, the Rage doesn't do
Dire's
it,
structures
and
are
right now,
fortified.
Pycat just has so much utility on the map as a result. And this Lifestealer pick is just looking more and more underwhelming.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Aghanim's
attack.
just done for Pycat. He's waiting for the courier to get all the way back to base before it'll come out. So it'll be another 30 or 40 seconds until it's going to arrive on him. But it looks like it doesn't even need it to bring down this tower, because Na'Vi's not coming to
Radiant
contest.
structures are
They're not coming anywhere near him. They're going to trigger the fortification for the tier 2
Dire's
tower,
middle tower
which
is under
sort of flags the fact they
Radiant's
have some
bottom tower
level
is under
of
attack.
intention of defending this. It bought time for Denny to get down here with Vanscore. But at the same time, all of Alliance is ready for him.
If Na'Vi lose this fight, with the Razor Ags up,
Radiant's
that's going to
bottom
mean
tower
such
has
an early
fallen.
Rax. And I don't know if you're Na'Vi, especially with the type of disadvantage you're already at, if you have to fight against farming out super creeps, it's just going to be so tough for you to come back, having to always keep that lane pushed out, especially with the Wisp in the game. If you send one hero down, 4 heroes go to rotate, the Wisp catches you off guards, you could potentially lose another Rax on top of that. So Na'Vi, whatever fight they choose to take next, they probably should wait for Alliance to wait out that Aegis. But at the same time, you're giving up so much map control, and Dendy's going to go down so quickly, or is he?
No, they haven't actually done it. The Duel doesn't control him long enough. He managed to get the Ghost Scepter off and blink away to safety.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're freaking overwhelming odds. It took all the life points away from both Seneko as well as VINCERE.
That was a good play by Seneko, though. He actually recognized the correct target to pick towards Loda, who was about to cast his amplified damage, and that should have definitely meant Dendy going down, but Alliance, they opt to use this Aegis out to try to take out every single tier 2 tower. Now that Pycat, he does use his ultimate already though, but he has his Ags and he's got 1200 gold on top of it.
I don't think it really matters, because while they got the Aegis to the Immortal, Alliance still have the power, and Na'Vi have shown they have no real intention to fight here. What happened before was just Dendy getting caught out.
Yeah.
It wasn't him initiating in. So for now, okay, well that was a bit of a misclick. Both the bosses dropped 2 sentry wards in the mid, and they completely missed the Dire Observer ward.
That has been just the story of this game. Little unfortunate mistakes for Na'Vi that have added up so much more. Ake's actually really tanking out too. He's got the Invis rune, he's got a Vitality booster. I think he's just waiting to back up his team.
I'd be really scared if Seneko moves forward, any hero moves forward. Matt's got the blink from the Queen of Pain. So you've actually got a double blink. You got a double initiation available here for Alliance at the moment.
Pycat, he does have the Eye of the Storm up too. No blip for Na'Vi for quite some time. And they do have the Aegis for, I believe, another minute.
They have to come back. They have to come back. Possessive why is nowhere near done for the lifesteal, but they're going to lose top ranks if they don't try and defend this. But what do you really want to do? Do you really want to fire into a lineup that has the Aegis, the Immortal over on Loda? He amplifies on Dendy, so they can see him quite clearly. Lifesteal is inside, but Pycat's ultimate, it's going to wear off in a second, so they back up, and they'll just come in again. If they can amplify up another target like Phobos, they keep that vision on the high ground permanently there.
You know what, though? This is the new Alliance. They wait for the absolute advantage before trying to push everything out. Like, they're so patient.
They're waiting for the BKB to fly in for Loda.
Yeah, and actually, they can just wait for the next Aegis as well. Oh, well, actually, they show Matt at bottom. Maybe this is the ultimate they need.
Phobos, the dual starts. Dendy is there, but in comes Loda. Looks for the crush, catches down 3, but Nikwa, he's not going to win the duel, but he's also not going to lose it. He's dead anyway. Arcade trying to run away from a boss, won't be successful. There's more attacks coming up behind him. While Loda, he has to crush and retreat. One gank gone wrong there for Alliance. It looked too good to be true. It really did.
Yeah, and actually that was just Havos being the most patient man in the entire world. Like, he waited inside Dendy for so long. They TP'd from bottom into top, and Matt even shows bottom, and they just game sense. They just waited out. They're like, okay,
just move
this
back.
is an Alliance play. They're gonna wait, they're gonna show Matt on the map, and then they'll take the 4-on-5 engagement thinking they're far enough ahead.
Is Mad looking for the Aghanims upgrade ultis as well? Like, you get Lich ulti, Lion, as well as Cloth, all have big upgrades to their ultimates. And if you can grab the mid tower, Pycat's right top of Loda, double crush, they're looking for the engagement, and it's going to be over towards Phobos. Will it? Pycat deals a little bit of damage, 112 points of it in fact, but they're not getting close enough to get a hero down. Na'Vi have managed to bail themselves out of here after taking out that T1
quite
tower.
Isolated though.
Yeah, true. The amplification of him, they saw him perfectly, and this time Nikwa will be able to win another duel.
And from the front, he runs super quickly with the amplified damage off on him as well. That is the BKB used though on Loda, so maybe if I'm Alliance here, I probably wait out the next Aegis. You're not in the biggest rush in the entire world, unless you just want to force out the buyback and then run away. But going for the Aegis, the next one is definitely going to almost secure your win at that point. You get your Loda, I was going to say, you get Loda, your starter, the Aegis. There's not a whole lot that can stop him at that point, and look just how much farm he has now on top of that too. He's actually second in net worth, got his BKB. The Razor is about to pick up another item. I'd imagine this is an AC for him as well. And at that point, you've got your AC, which is giving you negative armor, fire to all the buildings, on top of your Ag's upgraded Eye of the Storm. Yep. How do you really take a fight if you're Na'Vi at that point? And if you lose a fight, it's going to mean racks quite quickly.
Well, your only choice is to try and at least even up the odds by getting pickups like this. Arcade tethers almost actually went up on top of the hillside, but they'll get the pickup. So I'll also say too that Matt didn't go for the straight Aghanims rush, he went for the Blink Dagger. So he's realizing that he needs that initiation with other bigger abilities.
Yeah, I was going to be really surprised. I'm actually surprised he got the point booster with Blink as well. I just think that...
Is that survivability without having to get something like... Well, he's not the man building the urn because it was the Wisp.
Yeah, it's still minor. if you're in a position where you're the first one cut out from the
Blink, Crush, Amplified, Liton is coming in.
You get the duel off as well.
Oh, that's nice. There was also the kill going in the way of Nikwa, so he took the maximum amount of points for that.
Yeah, that's 42 damage now for him. Slowly starting to get a little bit, and Alliance are going to be quite happy with this Roche timing as well.
Every time he wins that duel, it's even scarier because with the amplification and you're getting the extra damage in without having to buy items. Like he's going for the BKB next, so it's just that jump in control from the start that they're searching for. You turn someone around like the Bristleback, he's got to fight you face to face with amplification and the bonus damage already into that Legion Commander.
It becomes way too hard for Navi to fight at that point, and again, Alliance, they didn't necessarily have to do what they did at top, but it doesn't seem to have harmed them too much just because of the amount of map control they've had. I mean, they lost 2 heroes at top, but what did they really lose on top of that? They didn't give up an Aegis,
not much,
or a Roshan. They didn't give up a single tower off of that death either, and that seems to be the difference. Even though Navi are keeping him up in kills, it doesn't seem to really lead to anything for them in either game.
And they don't really seem to have like that angle you have after you take a fight. We always look back at the old push lines. It was get a pick off with a Bat Rider, take a tower, get a pick off, take a tower, get a pick off, take a tower. That was the flow. That was the momentum builder.
Yeah, and it seems like Alliance have actually adopted that kind of style for this meta right now. And I think they just wait for the next Roshan, take it patiently.
It's also the big influence of Matt because that's the style he likes to play. He likes to play this pick off and then push kind of style. That's always been his way.
Yeah, and I think Loda's build actually reflects what they kind of want to go for. He grabs the Vlads, yeah. This is definitely mid-game, left-handed after this Roshan item.
Yeah. Well, they know if they take one more fight, they take 2 Raxes. I guess that's what it comes down to at the moment.
He
all
has
the
the
other
top
towers
down,
out.
too.
Yeah. You just melt through them. And when Na'Vi die, we're 30 minutes in, their levels are quite decent as well, which means they're dead for a rather long period of time too.
Okay, just take a look at the buyback status.
Look where Nikwa is. He's in the perfect position for a jump in to get them up at the back end of this. And well, there's a jump in to start the duel on Dendy. There's more support coming out with Lintonic bouncing in. And Blade now really hurts Dendy. He's actually going to win it. Yep. Okay,
the Chain Frost though.
Did he keep the battle going?
10 health left and a lot of damage being stolen. Loda gets one more hit off.
Pycat's right in the tail of a horse with a plasma field, 224 points. That Blink Dagger in 5 seconds is up for Matt, and they're trying to chase him down. He's going to rage out of this one. It's not going to work. There was too much damage, plus the potential for the bash from the Slardar. So they end up losing 3 players in total here, Na'Vi. For the price of what, the Legion Commander? No one bought back, and they aren't able to contest Roshan now.
And what looked like an okay fight for Alliance. I mean, they killed Nikwa quite quickly. They had a really nice Chain Frost. Dendy even won the duel. And then Mad steals the Chain Frost, and then the team fight just goes hell for Navi. They have to completely split up. Dendy eventually dies by 1 hit, and after that, there's just no more tanks left for Navi.
They want to go in for the mid, the plasma field from Pycat's trying to give them the vision, but they found VINCERE. Can't get the crush off, but there's going to be the bash anyway. And Matt was able to steal Frost Blast. So they've got a double nuke plus slow initiation from their Rubik with that amplification crush from Loda.
And taking a look at buybacks, we've got one on the Queen of Pain, we've got one on the Bristleback. As a defender's advantage, this is the best opportunity for Navi. The problem is, if you don't definitively win the fight after the buyback, you haven't really gained anything. Like, you're losing team fights really clearly at this point. Even if you're trading 2 for 1, 3 for 1, if you're Alliance, you're okay with this at this point.
Look at Loda. He just runs in almost the tier 4 towns, get the application on Dendy. He wants to see what's going on. He knows he can't be dispelled, and then gets knocked robot. All the prep work's there. There's no way Navi are fighting this.
Yeah, and that's an AC with an Aghanim Scepter up on the Pycat, and he wants him to go on him. Yeah, look at the amount of armor he has.
He's forcing him to. And there's no other choice here for Navi. In fact, Loda found Dendy. There's no intest, but there is a blue cover from Ryan to get that Hex off. And now the Hex is down, in fact, stolen by Matt. So we can return this into a force when he comes back out to Loda. He got the back. They get the dual lockdown as well. Dendy, where are you headed to? The crush holds him there. He gets the Ghost Scepter. Stop letting that Lich only bounce around. That's finally going to back up with the overwhelming odds on Loda. Okay, he's still in a little bit of trouble, getting stunned up, Frost Blast. He's got the Aegis Loda, so is this trouble even really trouble? Because you've wasted so much time. The Pycap, shortly, he's out of mana, but he's going to have that ultimate on cooldown. Loda, someone's going to help him. The relocate is just the same. Short drag back to give Loda the space to survive.
Yeah, if you're Alliance, I think you can actually re-engage this. And once next thing about the Eye of the Storm, yep.
Blink Crush,
back up.
Amplifies up, but the Ghost Scepter again stalling him, but Matt picks him up, throws him down. He was using his Hex to make sure that Denny couldn't do anything else.
And Na'Vi actually are up in force right now. They've got 4. I think you do have to give up these racks though. Without the Life Stealer in the game, it's a little bit shaky whether or not you can win this fight. Alliance again opting to play for the patient game, and really nice play by Ake getting Loda out of there, because he definitely would have died. He was isolated by 4 heroes. And Alliance, they take out 3 racks for that trade.
No, it's back to what you talked about before. You've got the advantage. Don't throw it away. Loda is probably going to pick up his Reaver right now, which means it's going to be even harder to kill in future fights. And Nikwa, well, I'm seeing a Ghost Scepter actually coming out. That's for RK. That's the Wisp. But didn't he buy it? I thought he just purchased something before. He might have sold it.
Honestly, the biggest thing it seems like the difference in what Navi's playing with and Alliance is playing is that they've had more time to develop their lineups.
Dendy's dead.
Dendy's definitely dead.
This is a huge opening. The fact that you've managed to drop the Queen of Pain, he's got buyback, but forcing that's even just as great.
Yeah, and if you're okay with that, Alliance, you barely fended them off when they had half HP and nothing up, but this time they've got everything in full force. This is definitely going to be the max dead. Does Dendy buy back for this? I think he has to, because I think the Alliance are just going to go straight for that bottom max.
Yeah, here it comes. TP to the front line, Snako with the Hex, but Pycat, remember how tanky he is? That melee rank's already pretty damn low, so the chance of Vincent through is pretty damn low as well. Dendy blinked in,
the buyback off on him as well.
The buyback, that's probably even GG call there, unless they can get a huge bit of work from Phobos. They do bring down the Legion Commander at least, but man, on the run out here, Phobos, Pycap to try and team up, but Phobos is dead to the world. It's a double kill for Pycap. This will be bottom ranks, and I think Navi's got no other choice but to call it, because what are they meant to do? The Live Stealer can't fly into this. Dendy's down to 50 seconds. It's Megan's.
There's just too many cores that he has to run past. If he tries to get past the Razor, all he has to do is I just don't think this was a very good Life Stealer game. Like, the Razor just completely outplayed, like, outpicked them, yeah.
Woo! Well, I think as far as prediction crews go, you'd be pretty much on the money for this one, because I doubt anyone was really saying Navi's going to come in favorites this one, just because Alliance have been looking so much better in place. But at the same time, Navi performed a lot better than I thought they were going to perform tonight.
Yeah, they had highlight moments. I definitely thought, especially the first game was winnable. I think the second game, it feels like they got outdrafted. Felt like the Razor last pick was something that they didn't really know how to handle, because